Hi guys, welcome to Cup of Teach. This time, I'm going to discuss random variables. Random variables is a function whose values is a real number determined by each element in the sample space. It is also a function that assigns values to each of an experiment outcomes. Experiment like tossing a coin, rolling a die, drawing two balls from an urn. It is denoted by capital letters such as X or Y and small letters for the elements. For example, tossing a coin twice. So, alam naman natin, ang coin natin, meron tayong head at tail. So, let us use H for the head, T for the tails. Possible outcomes, head, head, kasi twice. And then, head, tail, tail, head, tail, tail. So, these are the possible outcomes. We call it sample space. Sample space is a collection of all possible outcomes in an experiment. Pero kung interesado ka lang sa number of heads, maglelet tayo na ang x natin is a number of heads. So this is what we call random variable. So let us show that in the table. Sample space, head, 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 tail, tail, head, tail, tail. So number of heads, 2. Dito, only 1. And 1 din dito. Then dito, 0. And then if you're going to represent that, that is x is equal to 0, 1. So, yung 1 natin dito, dalawa, pero isusulat lang natin siya ng isa. And then, 2. So, ang tawag dito na sample space. Therefore, ang x natin is a random variable whose possible values are 0, 1, and 2. Let's have another example. Throwing a die once. So, alam naman natin na ang dice natin, we have 6 faces. So, maglet tayo na ang y natin, the score shown on the top face. So, this is the random variable. And then, we're going to list down all the possible outcomes. So, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, this is the sample space. And then, ang y natin is a random variable whose possible values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Example number 3. 2 balls are drawn in succession without replacement from an urn containing 4 red balls and 3 black balls. The possible outcomes and the value z of the random variable z, where z is the number of red balls. Let's have here R for the red balls and B for the black balls. Table. Sample space. So these are the possible outcomes pag nag-drawn tayo ng 2 balls in an urn. So yung una, red, red. Next, red, black. Black, red. And then the last one, black, black. Since interesado lang tayo sa number of red balls, so Z, yung first row, we have here 2 red balls. Next, only 1. Next, only 1. And then, the last one, 0. So, wala tayo ditong red ball. If you're going to represent that in random variable, z is equal to 0, 1. So, yung 1 natin, we're going to write that once. 2. So, ito na yung sample space. Therefore, ang z is a random variable whose possible values are 0, 1, and 2. We have 2 types of random variables. The first one is discrete random variable, and the other one is the continuous random variable. Discrete random variable if the sample space contain a finite number of possibilities or infinite but can be represented by whole numbers. The values are usually counts. For examples, X, number of students in a class. So, yung number of students can be represented by whole numbers. Kahit pa gaano kadami ang estudyante sa loob ng klase, it can be represented by whole numbers. Another example, Y, number of days in a week. C, number of oranges in a basket. T, number of teachers applicant, and D, number of boys in the family. So these are the examples of discrete random variable. They can be represented by whole numbers, and the values are usually counts. Let's go to continuous random variable. If the sample space contains an infinite number of possibilities and cannot be represented by whole numbers, values are usually measurements. For example, K, height of the trees. So this is an example of continuous random variable because between two values of height, there are always infinite numbers of possible values for height. For example, 5 feet and 6 feet. Between 5 and 6, meron pa tayong infinite numbers or infinite values between them. Kaya siya continuous random variable. Another examples, B, amount of apple juice in a jug. M, the time required to run a meter. S, the amount of salt in a jar. And A, average temperature in degrees Celsius in Baguio City for the past 3 days. So these are the example of continuous random variable. They cannot be represented by whole numbers because the values are usually measurements.
Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. If you learned something here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Cup of Teach. See you on the next lesson. Bye!